now obviously I'm a black male, and we know the history of black men, black people in society. So one of my biggest goals is to be able to show black people, younger black people that's younger than me, that no matter your skin color, no matter if your age, your gender, your whatever it is, that you can be who you want to be if you just stay focused, have faith in yourself and whoever you believe in, and just keep going. So that's kind of what I want to be. And then
yeah. I look up at the skylight, baby, and it's all so cool. Yo, we gonna be alright, baby, just me and you. Diamonds twinkle like starlights, baby, did it all for you. Yeah, vampire like Twilight, baby, all I did is you. Yeah, for the catching the limelight, baby, I believe with you. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Now we are back here for my podcast. This is my 9th episode, man. This has really just been a dream come true. I'm having so much fun doing this. I've been having so many good conversations with so many of my friends, having so many good interactions with you guys. So I just want to say, of course, thank you for being here. I love everyone that's watching this video. Even if you only watch 5 seconds, I love you. I have a lot of love for you because you're really just participating in my dream coming true, right? So now today, I don't even want to waste too much time. I want to start off with what I always start off with. So follow me on Instagram. If you want to follow my Instagram, it's @Hanzy. My talk show Instagram also posts very good content, posts snippets, anything involving this podcast is @JadenHanzyTalks. Twitter, don't really use Twitter that much. I need to stop saying that because I say that in every episode. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @JadenHanzy. TikTok, @JadenHanzy. And yeah, I don't use Snapchat, but yeah. So yeah, just everything. That's all my socials and everything. Now I just want to say, hope everyone's having a good day. Before I get into the person sitting next to me, hope everyone's having a good day. We're posting episodes every Monday, 4 p.m. So expect a very good episode, quality episode every Monday at 4 p.m. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have on what I want to get into. So I want to get into the person sitting next to me. Now this is a good friend of mine. We both attend San Diego State. That's where I met him. So I'm gonna let you talk about yourself and just start off with your name and start off with your social media and then start off with your name and everything. So yeah, let me know.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Lance Ma. I'm Jaden's barber. I cut his hair.
My San Diego barber. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm from the East Bay Area, Concord, California. I go San Diego State. I'm 4th year here. About to graduate. Business management. And yeah, my social medias are Cut by Lance. That's my barber account. If you want to follow my person, I don't really post on it, but it's LQNCE, Lance with a Q instead of an A. But that's pretty much all my socials.
For sure. So you just mentioned that you were a business marketing major. Is that what you said?
Business management.
Management.
Did I say marketing?
I think it was. I was just thinking the wrong M. But business management. What do you want to do? Like, what's your plan with that?
It's a tough question, I'm about to graduate. That question's been coming up a lot.
You graduating like a week from now, right?
Yeah, a week. My mom's gonna come down a week, I'm about to graduate, do the whole shebang, but I don't know. That's the crazy thing. I don't know.
I'm really happy for you too, man, because graduating is that's something that's so cool, and you're about to graduate college. You're about to be done with school. You know what I mean? So I think that's really an accomplishment because not everyone graduates. So I'm happy for you and that you graduate, and I hope that you are able to find what you want to do in regards to your major. And, it gets tough when trying to figure out what you want to do.
I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about it. But
then things come to you, right?
People are gonna say, "Oh, I want to do this, project manager, do this, that." I can do all that. I could do all that, but I'm not too worried about it. And it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know yet.
Yeah, that's we're gonna let's see. How old are you?
21.
So you got so much life left. So you'll figure it out. And this is a very smart young man and motivated. So I'm sure that he's going to go on to do big things no matter what it is. So now, like I do with all my guests, I want to speak about how we met. So I'm going to share my story, and then you can share your side. But I think my side kind of coincides with your side. So basically, I'm in San Diego State, right? And I basically didn't know how I was going to get my hair cut when I first got out to college, right? And it was like, I didn't know who I was going to do. So, and then my previous guest, Fraul, my first guest, actually, shout out to him. He's been clutch in a lot of areas of my life in the past few months. Pause, but he's been clutch in my life. So he he put me on to a barber that he had, and it was Lance, right? And I'm very skeptical about who I let cut my hair because that's how you get messed up. Because
Understandably.
I had a lot of bad barbers when I was growing up, and I was thankful to have found a solid barber back home. But now being out here, I was like, who's gonna cut my hair, right? So he showed me Lance, right? And he showed me his Instagram. I was like, oh, I like his haircuts, right? So I hit him up on Instagram, got a reservation, and since then he's been cutting my hair, and he's been amazing. I actually need a haircut right now, which is kind of like ironic that I'm in a podcast with my barber without a haircut.
Cutting him
but
on Saturday.
yeah, he's cutting me on Saturday. It's it's Wednesday right now,
Yeah.
But yeah, basically that's how we met. And a lot of the times when he cut my hair, it wasn't like he was just cutting my hair and I was just sitting there not talking. We talked about a lot of various things, a lot of deep things, a lot of things that aren't really that important. So that's kind of why I wanted him on the podcast. One, because he's about to graduate, and two, because a lot of the conversations, I hope that we can replicate them here, because it's really been some stuff that where I went home thinking like, oh, that's a really good point he made, or I made some really good points. So yeah, but I want to say, is your story kind of the same on how we met, or
yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, you know, when you say like it's hard to replicate, or you try and replicate those conversations, it's like, it's true, you know. I don't think people really understand, like when we have the conversation, it's like you could feel it, the energy.
You can feel
like,
it.
Whoa,
for
like,
real.
you know, like I'm getting through. You know, it doesn't happen to everybody that I cut. Happens to some people that I cut, and you know, I stay in contact with them, but you know. Yeah, I wish y'all could hear it organically, you know.
Yeah, organically. Yeah, but those barbershop conversations really are true. Like the stuff you say in the barbershop, it really just it feels like it comes from your soul. You know what I mean?
It's not even that barbershop talk. That's like Lance garage cut, you know?
Yeah.
It's a one-on-one thing. There's no other barbers telling me this,
right,
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, it's a personal experience, you know, and it's crazy. Me and Jaden have crazy conversations.
Yeah, definitely good chemistry in our conversations too. And we have a lot of the same beliefs that we're gonna mention about. So now that we got everything that you like, where you come from, all of that, social medias, how we met and everything out of the way, I kind of just want to get straight into it. So I have a few different conversations that I want to bring up, want to talk about, get his point of view so you guys can hear my point of view as well. But to start off, I want to talk about school, which is something that you're about to finish and I still have a lot more of. So I want to talk about school, and with my guest Raul, my first guest, second episode, Raul, we kind of talked about the point of school, and I was watching that episode last night just trying to see where I can improve, and I really liked that conversation that we had about school, so I kind of want to bring it up into more detail here. So my first question is, how do you like school? Like, what's your thoughts on school, being a student?
School. Man, it's nothing I can complain about and not sound ungrateful for, you know? Like, I'm going to San Diego State, one of the most beautiful cities in California. California is one of the greatest cities in America. You know, for if you agree or not, but
it's definitely the
it's
best.
like I like it. I like going to school. I like the environment, everybody around me. You know, it's motivating. I like school, man. Classes, I think Frowell said something about that, right?
Did. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he said he likes school, but he doesn't like classes.
It's hella funny because Frowell and me be having those types of conversations, you know? That's the thing, you know, in the barbershop. But
yeah. Definitely. Okay, so you like school. I kind of agree with what Raul said in the episode that I had with him. He said that he likes school, but he doesn't like his classes. And what he meant by that was that he likes the concept of school, the concept of failing and learning. If you put in the work, you get an A. If you slack off, you don't get an A. And so I like that concept of it. But when it comes to classes, taking calculus, taking Spanish, like all of that stuff's not really relevant to what I want to do and the person that I want to become. But I feel like it's super important to go through those things, doing those things that you don't want to, so you can learn valuable principles about life, you know what I mean? Okay. So my next question for you is, like, what do you think is the point of school? Because I touched on that in my second podcast episode, but I want to hear your point of view. What's the point of school?
That's a loaded question. I mean, it depends what you're going for. Really, it's like systemize, like make everything organized so, you know, everybody goes in a direct path. Because, you know, I talk to people and like, oh, I hate school, this, that. Like, I would be doing this, I'd be doing that. But, you know, that's you. And not everybody's going to have that direction, you know, that strong direction feeling inside of them. You know, so school, I feel like offers the general population, just guidance. That's why I feel like school's there for, you know. And I mean, to teach medical doctor, to be a doctor, all that, you know, of course, that's like mandatory. And of course, very important to have a curriculum, and I understand that's what school is there for. But I mean, I think that's what school is there for.
For sure. So me personally, I agree with what you said, but I kind of feel like sometimes I feel that it's a deeper meaning to school than what most students like see, because I feel like I'm one of the people that has seen the deeper meaning of school. And what I think the deeper meaning of school is that, like you said, it gives guidance, and I think, but not everyone takes the guidance how it's supposed to be interpreted. You know what I mean? Because some people look at it as like it's just a chore. It's, oh, I got to wake up and go to school in the morning because my mom said so, and I have to graduate and I have to get a good job. I have to do my major, but I don't think it's like that. I feel like school is meant to be a trial and error, and how I feel like sometimes just I'm kind of very anti-government, anti-systematic. I think we should all be able to be free in this world, but I do value rules, because without rules, it would just be chaos. But I feel like sometimes school kind of turns into a system. It's like they're trying to program us to be regular people, to not think creatively, to not want to fail. It's teaching us to do what we can to get by, because a lot of times, like, I'm a very smart person, but I'm not that smart to where I just know calculus off my hand. You know what I mean? So it's like it kind of like programs us to think that, oh, we just have to get these good grades. But I think the biggest point of life is failing, so you can learn how to become a better version of yourself. You know what I mean? So I agree with you about how school's guidance, but I also think that not everyone sees the true meaning of school, and which is something that I kind of wanted to, that's something that I think is big in my life, is that I hope others can see the meaning of just life, is that you're supposed to fail, and you're supposed to learn how to be creative, and you're supposed to learn how to do what you want to do. So that's just kind of my thoughts on the point of school. But yeah, do you have anything else?
That's not even really, you know, that applies to school. That concept applies to school, and I agree with that 100%. But that's life, you know. You gotta fail in life.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta fail in life. That's what you gotta do. But you know, if school is gonna be that hurdle for you, then you know, that's good. You know, the school could be that hurdle. But me personally, you know, like, what do you mean when you say like to fail in school, like fail classes?
So for an example, I realized when I was younger, a lot of my time in school, I spent a lot of my time stressing out because I wanted to have perfect grades, straight A's. I wanted to do well on every test, well on every assignment. But then I realized that that's not really how I should be living, because obviously in life, you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to get every job you want, every dollar you want. You're going to have to go through some ups, and then you're going to have to go through some ups, and then you're going to have to go through some downs. So I think I think school is the earliest teacher of that in young people's lives, is that you're not going to pass everything. Sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to do good, but it's about failing, taking that information, and not letting it happen again. So that's what I mean when I say one of the biggest points about school is learning how to fail. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Most definitely.
So that's kind of what I wanted to speak about on the point of school. Everyone has different beliefs, and it's all just about experience, you know. But now I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite things about school? You know what I mean?
Not classes.
Yeah, definitely not.
Actually, some of my classes, like my rock climbing class.
Yeah. Do you have a rock climbing class? Yeah. That's cool. That's
rock
cool.
Climbing,
that's cool.
Hey, if you try and get into rock climbing, I highly recommend it.
That's cool. That's lit.
Not outside. I haven't done outside, but the class is great.
Would you do it outside?
Give me all the equipment.
Like in nature?
Yeah,
like
I'll do it. Yeah,
okay, you know, for sure. That's cool.
I lack like a lot of nature experiences. When I was a kid, we didn't really do a lot of that stuff, but yeah, I'll do it.
For sure. Do it now. For sure. So is that the only thing you really like about school? Or is there anything else?
All the people I'm around. It's like I'm thinking about what I'm gonna miss when I leave. You know, I'm gonna miss. You know, like I cut hair, and I don't even really see it. I say this, but I don't even really see it as like a job, or like it's just something that I do. You know, and when I do cut hair, I have these these conversations. You know about it, and just I'm gonna miss that, talking to people. You know, that are bright, that are going to school. You know, I met a lot of people. Like just the other day, I had a great conversation with my homie Riley. I miss the people being around people. You know, being around people that are are motivated, that are young, have a
Like-minded,
lot of
yeah,
energy.
yeah.
Like-minded too. Yeah, most definitely. That's what I like about school. Just being at school. You know, I think that's what I like about school the most.
Definitely. What about what are some things that you don't like?
The system, however you want to interpret that. You know, I'm not in any Greek life or anything like that. I'm not.
Me neither.
You know, but I always thought, you know, not hating on it, but it was just kind of a, like, if it wasn't there, these dudes wouldn't know what to be doing, you know? So it's kind of like another
definitely.
system, too. It's like, I get along with all frat boys and whatnot, but, you know, it's like, I don't like how everybody is forced to think a certain way. That's what I don't like.
I like that, what you said, because that's one thing that I mentioned about the point of school is that they try and fixate everyone to think a certain way. But in life, you have to be creative. You have to think outside the box. You have to think outside of what you're taught. And I think sometimes you even have to teach yourself. So that's what I try and avoid in school, trying to avoid that system and avoid that same thinking that, oh, I have to grow up. I have to have a 9 to 5. I have to make a certain amount of money. And then my life is just over. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel about that, you know? My next question for you is, now that you're about to make it out of school, so I want to ask you, because this is something that I've been thinking about recently. Why do you think people drop out of school? And how do you think, if you let's say you had a friend that was about to drop out of school, what would you recommend to them to stay in school?
Why do people drop out of school? It's crazy because, like, my cousin, he dropped out of high school. Like, 3 of my cousins didn't graduate. There's like 4 of them didn't graduate high school. They're older than me, but they didn't graduate high school. But the oldest one is really smart. His name's Jeremy. He's really smart. He dropped out of school because, one, he got in trouble. He hacked the grades or something.
Really?
Set like a fire in the computer lab or something. I forgot what he did. I don't know what he did exactly, but yeah, he was always like a little troublemaker, but he was really smart. He dropped out of school because he said school, he's too smart for school, you know? He's too smart for school, and the stuff that they're teaching in school is not going to help him, you know? He already knows all that stuff. It's no good for him. And to a certain extent, that's true, you know? But for other people, I would say, even though they might not be as smart and able to do school, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but, you know, lack of motivation, or like, maybe they see another route besides school. You know, that's why I think that people drop out. Reason varies a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about your cousin. You said that he felt that he was too smart for school and that the stuff that he was learning in school wasn't going to help him in his real life. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on the usefulness of school in real life, the real life application of school? What are your personal thoughts on that?
School is going to teach you work alongside, you know, your peers, coworkers. It's going to teach you to, you know, get things done at a certain date, how to manage your time. There's a lot of stuff. Like, some of my friends didn't go to school, and it's like, or they didn't really care about school. They were always, their parents just let them do whatever. And just like, it's like structure. It's going to teach you structure, you know, because, like, you have to do this, and that certain day. You're not just going to be able to, you know, sleep till noon or 11, then you wake up and then somebody's calling you and they, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. What would you say is your biggest thing that you learned about from school? Your biggest thing? Because you've been in it, what's this 16 years you've been in school? Maybe 17?
That's crazy.
So that's a lot. That's like crazy. 3/4, almost a little over 3/4 of your life, you know what I mean? So what's your biggest lesson that you've taken from school?
I would say just, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but just interacting with people, you know, learning how people, it's not like I can't solidify it into like one sentence, you know? Just like learned a lot. I learned a lot about how people, you know, how people think. I've learned a lot from how people think, like, have fallacies. I learned the fallacies that people hold.
Elaborate a little bit.
Like, oh, why didn't I pass this test? Or like, oh, that teacher is hella unfair, you know. Or it's like, or was it because you stayed up hella late every
And
night?
didn't put in the work.
Didn't put in the work.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like, that's like the most simple one. There's a lot of fallacies. It's funny because like my friends, I feel like if your friend is doing something bad and you don't tell them, that means you don't care about them.
Yeah, that's
you know
bad
what I'm saying?
friend.
So like one of my best friends here, his name's Sean, bro. I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but
Send it to him. Yes, he is gonna watch it.
He's gonna watch
Sean,
it.
shout
He
out
gonna
to
watch
you.
it.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna watch, and he's gonna like it. But I argue with him a lot because of stuff that he, for some reason, he's stubborn. He's a very stubborn person, and he won't do it. Even though I try to explain everything logically to him, and to everybody's probably not stubborn to that extent, but they are to some extent,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like even me myself, I still figure stuff out every day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. I'd say just the way people think and blame. That's the word I'm trying to get at. Just being open-minded and not trying to blame others for it's called a internal locus of control. That's what it's called.
Explain that. No, I've never heard of that.
Just basically, external locus of control would be, if you have a strong external locus, you would be, I failed the test because of the teacher. I failed the test because this person.
That's if you have a strong sense?
External.
Okay. External.
Internal locus of control is like,
I get it.
I should have studied more. I should have gone to the library and studied. I should have, done my homework. I shouldn't have been late. I should have been. This is a funny one I'd be seeing in class. The ones that go to class and not pay attention, they're like watching anime on the laptop. That's a funny one to me because I'm like, I wonder how you're gonna do on the test. Maybe they do good. I don't know. If they don't though, better not be complaining.
Definitely. I think that's kind of just, in shorter terms, that's kind of like having a. I guess it's kind of like, it's not. I was gonna say it's kind of like having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, but it kind of is, but it's not.
Term.
Yeah,
it's a different.
It's just a different term, but yeah, I think that's definitely that definitely weeds out the successful people from the people who are being regular people or who are just doing terrible in life. Is that if you're blaming other people for your struggles, like it's nobody else's fault that you did something, So I agree with that. I like that. What's one thing in school that you learned that you wish you didn't learn?
That I wish,
or that you feel like you could have went without. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Like stuff that I see in school, like in my classes, or just
I guess your school experience, something that you felt like you would have been better off without. Me personally, I feel that once I got past Algebra 1, I didn't need any of this else. I felt I was just wasting my brain power. But actually, I can't even say that because math has taught me so much. It's taught me how to like problem solve. It's taught me you got to keep trying until you get it. You know what I mean? So I can't. So that's actually probably a bad question because me personally, I'm a person that kind of is like what you just said. I have an internal, what'd you say, internal locus?
Yeah, you have a strong internal locus.
I have a strong internal locus about myself. Is that even though I was doing stuff that I didn't like, it was just like I was like, this is all for a reason. They're not just giving me this math problems just to give it to me. It's actually for a reason. It's up to me to find that reason. It's not up to them to slap me in the face with the reason. So I agree with you on that, and that was a bad question. My bad, because everything's a lesson. Yeah. Even if it's bad, it's all a lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So before we jump out of the school topic of this podcast, I want to ask you, because this is just something that hit my head. Like, why does college specifically have to be so expensive? Do you think it's worth all of the money, all the thousands of dollars?
See, you asked that question with the perspective of, you're an American, I'm an American too, know? But if you look in other countries, it's not that.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not.
That's the thing. So when it boils down to it, it's America capitalism. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even politician like that, like all into politics, but that's what it is. It's capitalism. And when you think about it like that, I remember when I first came here, I'm like, damn, they're charging me for this, that. And then I the more I'm like, damn, the school's a scam. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, they're building a new dorm. They built Washi. They built, they're building the new dorm. They're renovating this, that, So they are putting in the work. Like, look at the gym we have now,
Look at this building. This is free. This
hey.
yeah, facts.
$7,000 campus.
Yeah, facts.
Crazy. Yeah. So I'm like, school has resources, and if you say they don't have resources for you, you're a damn liar. You know what I'm saying?
And it's up to you to utilize the resources too, because a lot of people that complain about the resources aren't even using the resources. Like me, I guess I can't be mad about the tuition if I'm using this $7,000 camera, using this nice studio,
I use all the
going to the gym, library. You know, I can't complain about the tuition because it's nice. But yeah, definitely. I feel like maybe it is a little overpriced. Maybe.
Oh no, I definitely didn't agree. I didn't disagree with that for sure. I didn't disagree with that.
But it's just probably it's up to you to utilize the resource. You know what I mean? And that's I've only obviously been in one college, but hopefully that's the case for a lot of because not everyone goes to San Diego State that watches this. So for the people that go to a different college, hopefully if you're sitting there feeling like, oh my gosh, it's too expensive and I'm not getting enough out of it, it's just because you got to utilize the resources that your college has. You know, you got to find them, even if it's tough, even if it's not right in front of your face, you got to find it. You know what I mean? Whether that be joining a club, talking with your teachers, joining a certain class, going to the library, the gym, whatever it is, you know, you got to find it. So yeah, I don't want to dwell on any topic for too much longer, but I don't really want to spend too much time on school. So I want to move into, this is something that you and I have talked a lot about, which is the diaspora of spirituality. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times when we had conversations, like I said before in my podcast with Raul, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm very religious, but I'm also very spiritual. I feel like there's a lot of truth and there's a big connection between both of them, just from personally what I believe in. And I know you say you're not the most religious person in the world, but I'm not religious at all, really. But you believe in spirituality a lot, which is like I'm a person, I'm not bashing him because he doesn't believe exactly what I believe in, but because I think there's truth into what everyone believes in. So we're going to specifically talk about spirituality for the sake of the conversation, but I want to ask you, like, just give me a little broad meaning of spirituality to you. What does it mean to you?
It means something, you know, to me, it probably means something a lot different than Frau. I forgot what Frau talked about exactly and what we be talking about, but it's like, you know, before we had all this, by this I mean like society, you know, like buildings, electricity, electronics, all that. We were, you know, we were humans. We were just life forms, you know. And to think that there's no deeper meaning to having a life and having this like spirit and energy, to think that your body is the only thing that you have, I feel like would be kind of foolish.
Yeah, that's definitely foolish. Yeah.
So that's why I believe in it more so. But I would say spirituality, me, kind of, you know, Fraul probably has deeper roots. He's Ethiopian. His family probably got deeper roots in it. But I personally just use it as like a, you know, I still don't take it as an absolute truth, but I'll use it to kind of guide my life, my certain actions. And at least if it doesn't guide my actions, it will make me realize why something happened or why I did something, you know. Mm-hmm. I try to use that, you know.
So, yes, I agree. And one, I want to say, if you haven't watched the episode with Fraul, that was my second episode. Like I said, click off this video, go watch that, then come back here and watch this, because that was definitely one of my best content-wise videos. I was struggling. I was watching it back and I was like, dang, the camera looks terrible on this. But watching it back, it was very good content. So shout out to Farwell. I know you're probably watching this. Shout out to you. And if you haven't, go watch that episode where him and I talked about this. But I like what you said, getting back into what you said. I like what you said about it would be foolish of us to just think that we just have our bodies and that's it. That it's deeper than just having this physical body. And that's kind of how I got into it. I was like, I already believed in God a lot. But you know how when you're younger, your parents, they get you into God, a certain religion, and then you just grow up believing that. And I was like in a point in my life where I believed it, but I couldn't find the truth for myself. So I was thankful to have found the truth religious-wise for myself. But then during quarantine, I found the spiritual truth for myself too. And I'm not sure if you know who this person is, but there's a YouTuber who goes by the name of Soluminati Spiritual. So he, I used to watch his YouTube a lot before he turned spiritual, and then he turned spiritual and he made spiritual videos about finding yourself, finding your purpose, finding just understanding what frequencies, vibrations are, what our heart means, what our mind means. So my question to you now is, what do you think is like the importance of the mind, the body, the soul, the everything? What do you think is the importance of that? That's kind of a broad question, but I just want to kind of hear your thoughts about it, you know?
The body, mind. I feel like your body is separate from your what was it? Your consciousness, you know,
Which is your mind.
Your consciousness. It's what your mind produces. It's not your mind itself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But your consciousness is separate than your ego. That's what I think of as consciousness is like. I think my friend explained is your true self, what you would be without all this influence from all these external things, society, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And your ego is what you have gained from society, all the bad influences, good or bad influences that you think are good or bad. Just all the effects that society has had on your consciousness, you know. It's a really hard thing to explain to somebody that is, you know, I know you're understanding what I'm saying.
No, I get what you mean.
I'm trying to put it in simple terms, you know. But it's like your consciousness is what you will carry after you die, basically.
I think I can help you explain, because I'm actually glad if the camera saw my reaction when you said the ego and your consciousness, because I wrote that down on, I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't even really think about how I kind of differentiate from each other, because I think about that a lot. You know, I think about my ego, which is the person that, my ego side is the person that likes materialistic things, the person that sometimes wants to sin, you know what I mean, wants to have all the money in the world, wants to go party, wants to go do whatever it may be that's earthly. But I feel like what the ego is your human self, right? Because we're all humans, we have egos, right? And that's natural. That's not bad that I have an ego, you have an ego, we all have egos. But I think my conscious is really, I like to say it's the spiritual world as well, but it's also God speaking through me. I feel like your conscious is really God speaking through you, and it's telling you the right things to do, telling you to be kind to people, to stay focused on your goals, your dreams, not worried about sinning or anything, just you know, getting to your purpose. So I kind of appreciate that you brought that up about your ego and your conscious, and I think that's hopefully you guys can understand that, because you say you don't think they can understand what you mean. Because
I guess just, you know, a lot more people are religious, and you know, since I wasn't religious, I didn't really think about that. But when you say God, you know, I said before we had all this, you know, just because I said I'm not religious doesn't mean I don't believe in God or whatever you want.
You just don't do religious practices every.
Exactly.
You know, and I get you.
So I'm saying that God is what, if that's what you want to call him, is what guides your consciousness. Not your ego. You know? You help me
they
explain.
Coincide. Yeah, they coincide with each other, and I think that's definitely what it is. No matter what God, the Son God, Allah, Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter who you believe in. I just think, definitely there's a fact, no matter what's true about what religion, that there's a higher up that's guiding our conscious, and he's not inflating our ego, he's inflating our conscious. So I think that's kind of what we were both getting at. So now I kind of want to ask you, this is something big about spirituality in the world, and this is one of the first things I learned about. I don't know everything, but I learned a little bit about it. I want to talk about, what do chakras mean to you? What do you think about chakras, if you have any thoughts about?
What do you mean by chakra? Like what is
so for example, have you ever watched Naruto?
No, I didn't.
You haven't? No, dang. Okay, so pretty much all my Naruto fans out there, you know that a lot of in the show they called their energy, which is what they need to do everything.
You talking about like aura?
Yeah,
aura?
Like their aura, but they call it chakras in the show, right? Okay. And around the time when I was watching Naruto was around the time when I was kind of like having my spiritual journey. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's a coinciding principle that chakras is their energy, it's their power. My chakras in my life, how they explain it on YouTube in articles, it's your energy, we have 7 chakras. Like I can't remember all of them off my heart, but it's like they provide different energy to different aspects of our body and our mind and our soul. So if you're not really like a big believer in chakras and all that, but it's like your aura, the vibe that you give off basically. So I'm gonna see what is your thoughts about that, and it doesn't even have to be chakras, just aura and energy about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I would see how I learned about spirituality was one of my cool. They were in like they had business in the weed industry, whatever, you know, but they got out of it and they told me like, you know, it's not good, you know. Like you can sense that the people in there are not good people, you know. So how he explains to me, and that's how I really learned it, is just, you know, your truest self. If you're really true, you're like golden. You're like, you're white. You're like, you know, you're perfectly, you know, pure. You're pure of all the, you know, of all the sins, whatnot. He explained like, just it's not that simple, but he was like dumbing it down for me, saying like, you know, if you indulge in some of the stuff, but you still get that gut feeling of when you're doing something bad, you're probably blue. You're probably like a blue. But if you're like a red, that means like you do the bad things. You're kind of aware that they're bad things, but you don't really care. You don't, that feeling isn't there anymore. You know, you're more out of touch with your consciousness. You know? And once you get your soul turns black, then that means, you know, you're a demon. You know, you could kill somebody, and you know, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like that. You know, it doesn't bother you. You're not losing sleep. You know, that's how I think of it. But that's probably like a very like simplified version of like chakras and whatnot. You know?
And I think whether you know about the specifics or not, I just think it's really just your energy. Like if I wake up in a bad day, I mean, if I wake up out of the bed, I'm saying I'm having a bad day. I'm giving off a negative energy to the people around me, which is, you could say, a negative chakra, a bad chakra, a low chakra. So I think it's
give the chakras to other people.
Well, I think definitely. So chakras, how I look at it, is vibrations. So it's pretty much just vibrations.
Okay,
you know? It's a lot of different just terminology.
I haven't even said that word yet.
Vibrations. Yeah, it's just your vibration, and I think chakras and vibrations go hand in hand. Is because it's really just how the energy you give off, which is probably the biggest word to use for it, is energy. And I can sense your chakras. I can sense someone else's chakras. I'm not a fortune teller or anything, but I think I said fortune teller. I can't read minds, but I can sometimes, you know how you just feel an energy off of somebody. You know what I mean? So I think that's what chakras mean to me. And it's really, I think there's a lot of things that affect your chakras. So in my life, I noticed that when I do a lot of things, it can either be good for my chakra or bad. So for example, when I'm waking up every day early, doing tasks, being productive, that's improving my chakras. But when I'm staying at home all day, watching TV, playing video games, eating junk food, not doing anything, not getting closer to my purpose, I feel like that lowers my chakra. And that's just an example. Like, it's lowering good energy, bad energy, you know what I mean? So that's what I feel about chakras. And does that kind of like make a little bit more sense to you about?
Yeah, I guess just like the term kind of threw me off itself. But yeah, like if you want to talk about vibrations, you know,
that's basically what it is.
That is kind of, the vibrations are what really guides my thought process spiritually. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, people on all over, you know, social media, you know, like a lot of how the girls be seeing
222, 333,
you know, all that. That's like, I'm not sure if I really believe in that, but I do believe in like significance of certain numbers. You know, certain numbers. You know, because like we've talked about, you know, everything happens for a reason, you know?
Right.
So it's like, you gotta take everything with a grain of salt, because we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Everything is, you know, speculation. But like vibrations, man. That's like the foundation of everything, right?
Definitely.
That's the foundation of everything.
Definitely. So you just said everything happens for a reason. I think it was my last time I got my hair cut by you, and we were talking about, I think you asked me, do I believe in coincidences? And I personally said no, because I think that everything happens for a reason. I think God puts everything in your life for a reason. So you don't believe in coincidences either, right?
No, I do not.
Okay, good. I don't know if you guys believe in coincidences or luck or anything, but me personally, I don't, because I think that's just a testament to my faith in God, is that I believe that if there's God, what is luck? If there is a God, what is such thing as luck? You know what I mean? Everything should be planned out, you know, everything. So that's something that's cool. And I want to talk about it. Still staying in the spirituality topic of this conversation. What do you think is it? What would you give? What advice would you give to someone that's trying to achieve their higher self, that's trying to get into the spiritual world, find out more about the world, and find out more about themselves?
To really be, like, try to, heal yourself spiritually or anything, I feel like you have to understand yourself, understand what your, what's it called, like your indulgences are, understand what those are, understand what, it's almost people, entrepreneurial people think of stuff spiritually. They just don't really know it, So stuff that is building yourself, like you said, waking up early, getting to it, that is getting you to a happier version of yourself. The goal for everything, I guess you could say, is just
to be happy.
Be happy,
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Although you can make it as complicated as you want, you know what I'm saying? But just to be happy. That doesn't mean having the most money, That's where I kind of get confuzzled a little bit
me too.
sometimes.
Me too.
I'm like, oh, I want all this money so I can buy this nice car, and I think that's gonna make me happy, but
it's not.
That's a material
thing,
and
it's the only, and you only have that money when you're on Earth. When you leave, you can't take that with you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I agree with you on that. So you answered. I think did you answer when I said, how would you? You just said be happy if you were telling someone on how to enter the spiritual world.
That's what like. Try to understand yourself so you know what will actually make you happy versus what will make you content for the time being. You know what I'm saying? Like, smoking all these drugs and getting me super high, that's gonna get me, that's gonna get me happy for like a day, but then then I need the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that's an extreme example, but try to separate your happiness. Try to make your happiness depend as little as possible on
people or
people and
things.
materials.
Yeah,
people
that's
and materials.
good.
I was hesitant to say
no,
people,
I
but
knew
it
what
is
you.
people.
I knew what you were
It is
saying.
people,
That's
yeah.
why I was able to finish it for you, because I knew what you were saying, definitely. And I like that. I know you said that you now that you mentioned drugs and you used that as a kind of an example. You mentioned that you went when we were brainstorming on what we wanted to talk about. You mentioned that you wanted to talk about the usage of drugs and things about that.
Yeah,
Do you still want to talk about that?
That kind of goes into,
The spiritual
spirituality.
world, yeah.
I thought it would kind of go that direction if we talked about like music and your vibration, drugs and your vibration and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We won't have to go that route, but me personally, I say, actually, I was just having a conversation with somebody today when I was cutting their hair, like, is weed bad for you? Because I was saying, like, I think weed makes you more creative. Weed does make you more creative, but at the same time, for the general, for most people, it's gonna make you lazy. It's gonna make you not get. It's not gonna make you happy.
So do you think overall is good for you?
I can't say overall. It depends who, but most likely it's not good for you.
Most likely,
it lowers your vibration. Most likely, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me personally, I'm 18, which is like unheard of in this generation. I've never tried weed or alcohol, so and it's kind of just shout out my mom. How I was raised was because I never was. She raised me to never be interested in that stuff. But now that I'm older, and obviously, if I wanted to, I could have by now. I've noticed that I don't want to get involved with that because I see how much it affects people with low vibrations and or high vibrations. I don't want to be grouped into that group of people because I want to stay pure. I want to stay natural and not have anything influencing my vibration. I want to just be a natural vibe. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
That's rare, actually.
Yeah, and I never really thought about it, but that's kind of just like how I feel about that, That's kind of why I don't involve myself in those activities,
Yeah. No, I think when I started smoking weed, I was in high school. I was 14 years old.
Right.
I was pretty young,
Yeah.
But at that point, I started to stray away from my true self who would just be happy playing video games, just hanging out, riding my bike with my friends, that type of thing. I feel like those are good activities for me, Those are high vibration activities. But then when I started smoking weed, just started kicking with different people, just started not kicking with my friends that didn't smoke, what I'm saying? So it's like you know, I don't really smoke like that anymore.
Good.
But yeah, good. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, for me personally, that's like that's like something that I, you know, if I could go back in time, I really wonder how it would have been different. You know, I'm not saying that I regret just, you know, doing everything that I did, but it's something that, you know, I really think about and be like, where would I be today if
But
I hadn't at all?
I think, like what we were saying earlier, that everything happens for a reason. So that it was meant for you to go through that and make it out of that, because now look at you and look at where your head's at now. So you know what I mean?
And it led to us talking about it.
Yeah. Putting the viewers on about game to, if you do smoke or if you don't. It's obviously opinionated on your thoughts and how it affects you, but just I would tell people to not do it, not involve, keep yourself natural and pure, keep yourself how you're supposed to be. If there's something that, if you need to get high because you're trying to run away from a problem because you're stressing, I don't think that's good, because that teaches you in life that you need something to make you feel a certain way. But that's not how life, I feel like that's not how life is meant to be. It should be that we're supposed to train our minds to be able, if I'm in a bad mood, I just got to sit there and go through my bad mood and work on trying to get into a good mood, instead of, I'm in a bad mood, let me go smoke so I can calm down. You know what I mean? So I think that's just how I feel about that, you know? And yeah, so that's kind of all of that. All I really wanted to touch on about spirituality, right? I kind of want to get into, this kind of still goes into spirituality, but I want to kind of just talk about the purpose of life, right? So I was thinking about it when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I think you would be the perfect person to talk about life and just as itself. And it's so broad. There's so many aspects of life that we could talk about. But specifically, I want to start you off by, I want you to answer this and then I'll answer it as well. What do you think is the purpose of life? And I think you did touch on it in the spiritual side, but just reiterate, what's the purpose of life?
I guess if you want to like rephrase it for like purpose of life, you know, it's like your consciousness, your soul should be as clean, as pure as possible, so you can, you know, whatever goes on after you die, that's, you know, that, you know, like you said, you're not going to carry any of your material things after you die, you know, but so what will you be taking, you know? That's what you're going to be taking, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be taking your consciousness after death. So I feel like I'm not saying like separate yourself from everybody and everything, but it's like goes back, man, just be happy, and it's like, it's the thing about spirituality is it's not just like it's never like a selfish thing, you know, but some people might think like, oh, you're trying to be spiritual and just get yourself to the highest vibration, but you know, like you said, energy comes off, so it's like the purpose, you want to be the highest vibration so you could spread the most high vibrations everywhere that you touch. You know what I'm saying? It's not just yourself. That's why I think my purpose of life is just bring everybody up to the highest vibration, right?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say when I answered the question. That I think the purpose of life, if you take away religion and just focus on the spirituality side, because obviously not everyone believes in the same religion or spirituality, but just speaking about spirituality, I think the biggest thing in life is to be happy, despite, if you want to just focus it to yourself being happy is the most important thing, because forget materialistic things, forget money, forget traveling, forget women, forget men, if you're a girl, forget your friends, like just you being happy is the biggest point of life, because without you if you're not happy inside, how can you make others happy? And that leads into my second point of life, which is trying to change as many lives and bring as many people with you as you can. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what you said, and I agree with that 100%. So yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it, right? And I want to, moving on past like what's the purpose of life, I want to ask you, what do you want your impact to be in life? Like whether it be on the people that you know, the world as a whole. What do you want your impact to be?
My impact, man, that's like because, you know, me personally, I never have wanted to be like a big celebrity, you know, like a Kardashian or anything like that. But if I were to make an impact, it would be me speaking, like me trying to help people, you know, help people. I'm not saying like monetarily or anything. I'm saying like make them realize that, you know, it's like I'm gonna say this, and it's like, oh, there's already millions of people doing this, but like, make sure that people understand that social media isn't real. Social media isn't real, because I think that's one of the biggest things that is impacting people's vibrations today.
Definitely,
Me personally think that that's one of the biggest things. Realize what is like, how the government's trying to play you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Understand that it all starts with. It's crazy. I said this with my homie Riley. It's crazy that we had the conversation just 2 days ago. It's like, is being open-minded is really the crazy thing. Because if you're not open-minded, none of this, it's all going to go over your head. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing. So just open people's minds and, get them out of the, system. Get them out of the, what's it called?
Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of the matrix, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I actually really agree with you when you were speaking about. I forgot what I was gonna. Wait, what did you said? I forgot. It'll come back to me. But what I want my impact to be is, like you said, bringing as many people with me, changing lives, inspiring people is what I want to do. Whether it be. Now, obviously, I'm a black male, and we know the history of black men, black people in society. So one of my biggest goals is to be able to show black people, younger black people that's younger than me, that no matter your skin color, no matter if your age, your gender, your whatever it is, that you can be who you want to be if you just stay focused, have faith in yourself and whoever you believe in, and just keep going. So that's kind of what I want to be. And then the people to the people that are around me, the people I know, I just want to be able to be a joy in their life. I want to be light in their life, that when they hear my name, they get excited. They know they can't, at my funeral, they can't say anything bad about me. All they can say is that I was a joy to everyone that I spoke with. So that's basically why I want my impact on the world to be. And I agree with what you said. I wish I remember what specifically you said, because I had something to say about it. It was when I think it was before you were talking about the government trying to play us. I forget.
Just like try to get everybody out of the mindset of, that there's something specific that's gonna make them happy. Just wake them up.
Yeah.
I want to wake people up. You know what I'm saying? Like, wake people up. Like, bro, like, this could be anything, like, hey, that girl, like, you're not happy if you're in the sorority and taking pictures with these other girls because they don't even really like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't really like you.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but, I see it many times. But, like that, it's like the young kid in the hood, like, gangbanging is not the way to go.
It's not.
The streets are not the way to go. That's not the way to go. And I said just wake people up as like a general thing because it encompasses all those aspects. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that I wanted to kind of touch on, what you said just came back to me. When you were speaking, you spoke about social media and how you feel that it lowers your vibration and that social media is not real. I want to say, elaborate a little bit more about that. Like, what are your opinions on that? Because I have some strong opinions about social media.
It's evil.
Yeah.
It's evil. I mean, I'm not talking about like Mark Zuckerberg, because he's like, it's not even him. People are like, oh, he's controlling everybody. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, it's him in conjunction with you falling for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they're going to give you the algorithm to make you believe a certain thing, this is that, But at the same time, it's like, it's up to you to wake up and get up out of it, Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I understand why people do, why people are a slave to it,
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts about social media is, it's evil. It's evil. It's evil. It's terrible for people.
I personally think that social media, I think it all depends how you look at it. You have to understand that it's evil. It can be detrimental. You gotta understand, because I still use social media. You still use social media, but I'm sure that both of us know that you don't want to get caught up in looking at other people's lives, because social media, it breaks your concentration. It makes you compare yourselves to other people. It makes you focus more on materialistic things and not your higher self. So that's why, like I said in my episode with Raul, and something that I stand by, which is in my Instagram bio, is erase your socials, which means that just you like don't like forget about social media, erase it, like just forget all that. Who are you? Who am I? You know what I mean? So that's my opinion on social media, and I agree with what you said,
Yeah, I said this like, I don't know, my Snapchat story. I meant it in a different way back then because I was just trying to flex and shit, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I said, who would you be if you lost it all, you know?
Yeah.
Who would you be if you lost it all? And it's funny, it's crazy, but I just thought of something, but it's like it's crazy because I posted that picture of my bike, you know, like I
Yeah,
stolen.
yeah.
And I was like, who would you be if you lost it all? And I was thinking, when I was posting that, I was thinking like, you know, I still have the knowledge about all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I would still be me. But at the same time, that's not really what that should mean, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Should be if I lost everything, you know, who would I be, you know? Who is my true self? That's what I really meant, you know? Or that's what it should have meant.
Yeah, that's deep.
Hey, and it's crazy because like just not that long after that, my bike got stolen.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
Nah,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't
everything
think
happens
so,
for a
you know?
reason, for real. Definitely, I agree. I agree with you on that. I
I
think
even put those two together,
Yeah.
and then it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I get you. I
have
get you.
those two.
I
Yeah.
get you. So I think we've been having some really good conversations. Now, I don't want to really make this video too long. I'm not sure how long. I don't really know. But there's still some things I want to touch on before we get out. So we're still kind of on the realm of the purpose of life. Now, a few weeks ago, I'm not sure if this was my last time you cutting my hair, but you mentioned to me that you felt that you were kind of in a slump. And just last week or so, I would say I was low-key in a slump to my standards. Like, I wasn't really as focused and locked in as I usually am and as I usually want to be. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts, because would you say you're out of your slump now? You're kind of more...
No, I would say
No?
I'm still in a you know, there's my like resting vibration. My vibration just a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Just because I've had a bunch of school stuff to get done. And then, you know, I'm really not motivated by school, so I haven't been getting it done. So I've been slacking. You know, I'm talking all this, you know, about social media. And I'm on social media. It's like my screen time is like 4 hours, 5 hours a day. I'm like,
yeah.
you know, like, who am I to speak, you know?
Uh-huh.
But
Nah.
so that's what I think my vibration is a little bit lower right now.
So my question to you is, what do you think, what are your thoughts on slumps in life? And obviously you say you're still in your slump, but what do you think is like, what do you think will get you out? What do you think is the key to getting out of slumps, you know?
When people think about like a slump, I guess it's like they're like, oh, it's because this one big event, but it's not. It's you start slipping. It's a slippery slope. So how do you get out of the slippery slope? You don't just jump up the whole thing, you know? You got to take the small steps back. So I don't know. What I do is I like clean my room. I'll start cleaning my room, cleaning all my barber stuff or like all my area, really sweeping it, to vacuum and everything. You know, just cooking good meals, stop eating all this like junk food. It's never really like one thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta really live it. You have to live the good life every part. You know, it's not just one thing to get out of the slump for me.
I agree with you, because how I would have answered that question if it was asked to me, I would have said, to get out of a slump, I feel that usually when I'm in my slumps, that means I'm being lazier than I would like. I'm eating what I shouldn't be. I'm not being the nicest person I can be. I'm not taking care of all the responsibilities that I set in my head. So I would say that the key to get out of your slump is that you just have to get up and do it, really. Like, even if you don't feel like going to work out, you got to get out of bed and you got to go work out. You really just have to get it done, because that's the only way you could get back in your rhythm, get back in your groove, is by doing it. Because if you wait for your mind to tell you to get motivated, you're going to be in some cases you're going to be waiting forever, because a lot of the times one of the biggest things is discipline. And discipline means, not even when you're not motivated, that you're not only doing things, you're not only chasing your dreams when you're motivated, you're chasing them even when sometimes you feel like not doing anything. That's what discipline is. And I think discipline is the key to getting out of your slump, is that you gotta know what's right, and you gotta stay doing what's right. So that's how I feel about that. And yeah, I'm sure I can personally talk about, I don't know about you, but I could talk about slumps for days, just because
me too, for
sure. It's really ups and downs in life. But I don't want to spend too much time on that, because I have one more thing I want to talk about before we start wrapping it up. But my thing I'm going to talk to you about, I think we've talked about this before when you cut my hair. It's a thing, you guys can look it up, but it's called solipsism. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's spelled SOLIPSISM, which is it's a theory that what if everything in the world, so just for example, it's a theory that for those that know what GTA is, I'm sure everyone knows what GTA is. When you play GTA, you're your own character. You control everything. You control just everything, right? So it's a theory that what if everything in life was like GTA? What if we're just our own character, and in my life, you're not a real person.
NPC.
Yeah, you're an
NPC
NPC.
in your life.
Yeah,
when I leave
yeah.
the render area, I'm just frozen.
Yeah,
and then your life keeps on going, you know.
So I wanna see, because that's something that I really have sat down and thought about. Like, that could really be how life is. Like, there's not actually 7 billion people in the world. That's just a piece of information that's used to aid my life. So I want to see, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, you know, like, this ties back into spirituality.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like when I talk about vibration, you have to have the concept of like infinite universes in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's infinite timelines. There's infinite timelines, and when you go up a higher vibration, whatever that small thing you might have done is, you go into the timeline where something better happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it's like I know Fraul knows what I'm talking about, but it's like you are God. That's why I don't like saying like he is God. It's because you are him. You know, you are God. You're your own God in your own timeline, your own life, your own universe.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So it's like I never heard that term before, but that's like that's how I think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
definitely, and I want to talk about that more. Even if it's not with you, I'm gonna talk about that more in one of my podcast episodes. But we've already had a lot of topics that we've knocked out, so I don't want to make the video too long. Also, because I'm not sure if the camera cut off on me. I hope it didn't, but I want to wrap it up, because if my calculations are right, it's kind of getting close to the hour mark on this episode. So Lance, like I was telling you before we started, what I like to do at the end of all of my episodes is one thing that I base this podcast around is inspiring other people, whether it be entertaining them or getting them on their path. So I usually leave off with 2 quotes. So while I say my quotes, you can just think of anything that you want to, what you want to just leave the viewer with in a positive manner. But so the 2 quotes for the day that I have is, my first quote is be grateful for what you have while you pursue your goals. If you aren't grateful for what you already have, what makes you think you will be happy with more? And I just recently saw that quote somewhere, and I was like, dang, that's true, because a lot of the times in life, it seems like we're kind of just, someone has a little dollar right here and we're just chasing it, but we're on a string, and it's like we're not actually getting anywhere. And that's because you don't already appreciate what you have. You don't already appreciate yourself. And it's like when you're down at your lowest, if you don't appreciate the fact that you're alive, the fact that you're healthy, if you are, the fact that you have all these people around you, how are you gonna appreciate having millions of dollars, having all these fake people around you, and still having your real people around you? Like, how are you gonna appreciate it? So that's just something that really you got to think about. That is that, are you truly happy right now? If, like what you said, if you take everything away, who are you still? You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that. And then for my second quote is, when you can't control what's happening around you, you can control what's happening inside of you. And that kind of goes in hand with the spirituality thing, is that everything happens for a reason, of course. And I think that it's our biggest, it's huge to understand that everything happens for a reason, that you can't control what's going on. There's going to be good, there's going to be bad, but it's up to you to control your mind and know that, yeah, how you perceive it, how you approach it, how you respond to the people around you. So yeah, that's what I think. So now I kind of want to hear any motivation you want to leave off with for the people.
I just want to say something about the first quote you said. It's funny that you said that. I don't think we were talking about when I was cutting your hair, but it's like, I was talking about one of my car homies. He likes cars and stuff. Like, I like cars a lot too. So I'm talking about like, I want to get a Trailblazer SS. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you know, that's like a short-term goal for me, you know?
Right.
But and then I had the realization, I'm like, I haven't washed my car. I've cleaned the inside and everything. I keep it pretty clean inside, but I haven't washed outside of my car. It's like some 03 Camry for a long time, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why do I deserve that Trailblazer if I'm not taking care of my Camry that costs $3,000, you know? Mm-hmm. That's funny that quote.
Yeah.
That's a material thing. That's a material thing, but it applies to,
it
you know,
applies. You really got to think about it.
Yeah, it's funny that I had that realization. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 ending, just keep an open mind. That goes a long way. You know, that'll open your mind it'll open your life up to a lot of, you know, new doorways. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna do a lot for you if you just open your mind to listen to what somebody has to say.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds simple, but you know, not a lot of people do it.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely, I think this was a great episode. Hopefully you guys learn something. Hopefully you guys go do your own research, and this makes you stop and think about where you're at in your life and what you believe in and how you want to approach your life from here on out. So I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I wish you weren't graduating so you could come on here again and again, but if, you know, everything happens for a reason, which is a common theme in this episode. So I'm sure somewhere down the road we'll meet again, and we could either talk private, or we could talk with this podcast to drop more knowledge. So I just want to say thank you. Congratulations on graduating, and this should be around the time you're graduating. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best in everything you do. Thank you for all of the good haircuts you have. He's about to get me right on Saturday because I look like I'm struggling right now. But yeah, I appreciate you for everything and being my ninth episode. And yeah, that's just all I want to say. So before we leave, I want you to shout out your social medias again so they can know where to find you. And yeah.
Right on. It was a pleasure, Jaden. And my ats are at Cut by Lance on Instagram.
Yes.
My personal is LQNCE on Instagram. I don't really use it. You don't gotta follow me on it, but that's what it is. You know.
Right. If you're currently in San Diego and you need a haircut, he's the man. And if you're in the Bay Area, you need a haircut, he's also the man. So yeah, just that's it. Also for my Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Hansy if you're interested in anything. Follow me at Jaden Hansy Talks if you're interested in the podcast. And yeah, that's just everything. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you can even comment that down below and let me know. And I might cash app you $80,000. Now I'm lying, but just thank you for making it this far. And yeah, I appreciate it. I hope that you guys can all go about your day and continue to be great. Continue to try and chase your dreams and just become the best version of yourself. So that's all. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to say before we leave?
I think I'm good.
You good? Okay, for sure. Thank you, everyone. See you guys next Monday.